Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a comparison between the Garmin and the Epson. I know I said that this would be a 5-parter, but the trial has now ended. My videos are a bit late because I was on holiday and all that kind of stuff, so I haven't had a chance to film them yet. But like I said, this is a comparison between these two. This one is a Garmin 620. This is what I was using before I started testing with the Epson. Obviously the Epson you already know about if you've been watching my previous videos. This is the SF810. I'm going to be talking about the differences between the two and letting you know about all that kind of stuff, and I'll do a summary at the end for this just to tie it up rather than doing an extra video. So the differences between these two models are obviously that the 620 does not have a heart rate monitor on the back, whereas the Epson does. I have done a slight comparison between the two heart rate wise. I don't tend to use the strap with the Garmin because it's too uncomfortable, so I only went for one run with the strap for the Garmin, and obviously compared this to the wrist heart rate data on the Epson. So heart rate data was pretty comparable between the two. There wasn't really much difference. In terms of the Epson and heart rate, I have noticed through using it the last couple of months that sometimes at the beginning of the run the heart rate won't pick up straight away. I mean, it picks up on the watch, but it doesn't seem to track the heart rate up until about 2 or so minutes into the run, which isn't too bad for like a 30-minute run, but it's still a bit of inconvenience. But it doesn't happen all the time, it's only like when it's cold outside or anything else. I think the Garmin actually did this as well, where it didn't track right at the start, so there's not much difference between the two on that. I'm not too bothered about heart rate data. Other people might be, and they might want to look into the heart rate data on these two watches, but that's all I can say really about those two. Next up is GPS. So obviously they both connect to satellite signals to get GPS for tracking your distance. I have done a test between the two of these and they can be iffy on both, to be honest. The Garmin usually connects pretty fast. If you haven't used the watch for a while, which I hadn't, it took about maybe a minute to find GPS signal, and then since using the watch, it kind of saves your satellite data. So when it comes to going out for your next run, it's already got the GPS satellites saved into the watch, so it connects straight away pretty much. On the Epson, I don't think it has any capability to save GPS, so it can be hit and miss on whether you find GPS satellites or not. I went out this morning with both watches. The Garmin connected within 30 seconds because it's had the satellites before within this week. The Epson took 2.5 minutes to get GPS. The first time it failed, and when it fails it doesn't continue to find it. It doesn't like repeat the loop. It asks you if you want to continue, which is a bit of an inconvenience, especially if you leave your watch outside because you don't want to stand outside. It won't continue to look for them afterwards, which is quite annoying. So yeah, hit and miss. This sometimes finds it within 30 seconds, other times it can take 2.5 minutes, it can fail and I have to retry. Yeah, it happens with both watches, so there's not really much else to say on that one. Distance wise, for GPS, I think the Epson is more accurate than the Garmin. I have taken these out for several runs, both together. I've worn both watches on runs before. I took it to the North London Half Marathon, which was about a month ago. I wore both of the watches for that run. The Epson was coming up bang on the mile markers, whereas the Garmin was sometimes early or late. Okay, so I just brought up both of the data on here. So here is the Garmin, hopefully it focuses. This is from my half marathon, it says 13.15, and here is the Epson data, which hopefully it focuses properly. No, 13.195. So I don't actually know which one was more accurate in this case. They're both roughly similar. The Epson shows that little bit more of a distance, the Garmin doesn't. But like I said, this was hitting the mile markers on the mile markers, whereas this was sometimes behind and in front. Not entirely sure which one is most accurate in terms of actual distance. But yeah, that's that. While we're on that topic, data between the two watches is pretty much similar. You can see all your split times on the watches, your pace, total distance, total mileage, all that kind of stuff. Data screens are customizable on both, so you can see different bits of data on each screen, so that's quite good. They're both comparable with that. In terms of data transfer, so if you're doing a race, I have mentioned in a previous video, I will link that down below. The data transfer on the Epson can be quite bad. Garmin has Wi-Fi transfer and Bluetooth, so if you have Bluetooth connected, it will transfer via Bluetooth via phone, or if you have Wi-Fi, if you're connected to your router, if you're in the house, it will transfer that way. Transfer on the Garmin takes about 30 seconds. It doesn't matter what distance you've done. For the half marathon, before I'd even had chance to try and upload to my phone from the Garmin, it had already done it within about 30 seconds of finishing, because I already had Bluetooth on for my phone, so that's pretty convenient for this one. For the Epson, it is really annoying actually. You have to enable Bluetooth and have the Bluetooth enabled on this, and then go into the app. I've explained all this in another video. Go into the app, get all the watch data to sync to the app, upload to the app. When I tried to upload the half marathon for the 20th, it took about 5 minutes to upload, which isn't what you really want for a data transfer. So for data transfer, Garmin is definitely better because it's got Wi-Fi. If Epson was to get Wi-Fi, it would probably be really good, but at the moment it is quite slow, and it's really annoying. So that's that. The last thing as a comparison between the two is obviously usability. The Garmin obviously has the 4 buttons like the Epson does, but the Garmin is touchscreen, so you can set everything through the Garmin itself. If you want to set intervals, it's done through here. If you want to see any watch data, it's through here. With regards to the Epson, usability really isn't great. You have the 4 buttons like you do on the Garmin, but it isn't touchscreen. And the buttons can be quite confusing when you go into all the settings. Even now, after using this a couple of months, I still get confused with which button is which. When I was trying to show you the data beforehand, the half marathon data, it took me about 2 minutes just to get into it because I forgot which buttons are which, and I've been using this all the time. So usability isn't great. If it had touchscreen, it would have been much better. But yeah, it's a bit fiddly with all the buttons. If you want to set intervals, that has to be done through the app. There's certain features on the Epson where you have to set it through the app and then sync it over, which is quite inconvenient. So yeah, usability goes to the Garmin as well. So I think that's probably it for the main features between the two. For a summary of the Epson watch, I think it's a good watch. I like that it's got heart rate. I don't have that on the Garmin, so I can see what my heart rate is during runs. GPS is accurate. It does what it's supposed to for a running watch, which is good. If it had Wi-Fi for transfer, which would make it a lot easier to transfer data, that would be good. I think it also probably needs touchscreen because this Garmin is so much easier to do everything with compared to this. If the app had a bit of an upgrade, that would be good as well to get your data properly. But like I said, it's a good watch. It just has a couple of niggles that probably need sorting out. In terms of the price for the watch, I think when I checked last it was, I want to say £180, which is quite a lot. I don't think currently that it's worth that amount. I think there's a lot of things that need changing on it, like I said, Wi-Fi transfer because transfers are too slow, touchscreen, and the app needs an upgrade before this would be worth what it is. So obviously I would recommend something like the Garmin. Now that the testing period is over with the Epson, I will be going back to my Garmin, and I will probably be giving this to Philip's mum because she doesn't have a GPS watch. And I have no use for this just sitting around. I can use it as a spare if anything ever happened to this, God forbid, but I would probably end up going out and buying another one of the Garmin, and it would probably be one with heart rate on the back. But yeah, I think that's probably everything that needs to be covered here. I've talked about the main points. If anyone has any questions about the Epson or any questions about the Garmin, then just leave them below in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. I will be getting back to a regular schedule for videos, so it won't just be reviews of the Epson watch, which is what it has been recently. I'll be getting back into my health and fitness videos, which I'll be putting up. I can't promise at the moment that they'll be every week, but I will try. But yeah, if you like these types of videos, like tech videos for running or any health and fitness videos, then please subscribe to my channel because there will be new videos going up. If you liked this video or you like the Epson series, then please give it a thumbs up because I would really appreciate it. That's it for me and the Epson series. I will link the other videos below if you want to check those out. But otherwise, that's it. So I will see you again in my next video. Bye!